Hello students, how are you all? Hope you all are fine. So today our topic is in the grammar, subject and predicate. So my dear students, a complete sentence has two parts. One is subject and the other is predicate. Now, as you all know that subject has two parts. Now, what do you mean by the subject? A subject means a word or a phrase in a sentence that shows who or what does the action. Or in the other words, you can say a subject names the person, place, thing or idea that we are speaking about. And the predicate is the part of the sentence that tells us something about the subject. That means what? Predicate tells us something about what? About the subject. And the predicate always contains the verb. Now let us go through the definition and the meaning. In every sentence, we mention a person, place or thing. Definitely every sentence will have subject. And then we say something about the person, place or thing. Whatever is being said about the person, place or the thing is a subject, and the person, place or a thing we mention is the subject, and whatever we say about them, it is known as a predicate. Whatever we say about the person or a thing is a predicate. Let us take one example to have the better idea about how to bifurcate or how to identify the subject or the predicate. Given here example, people from all nations go to see the Eiffel Tower. Once again I am repeating, people from all nations go to see the Eiffel Tower. Here, if we look at the sentence, we are talking about whom? We are talking about people. People, which people? From all the nations. Where they are going? They go to see the Eiffel Tower. So your guess is correct, children, that people from all nations is the subject and go to see the Eiffel Tower is the predicate. Go to see the Eiffel Tower is the predicate and people from all nations is the subject. Now, given here is the meaning or the definition. The sentence is made up of two parts. Yes, subject and predicate as explained earlier. The subject is the word or a phrase in a sentence that shows who or what does the action. The predicate is the part of the sentence that tells us something about the subject. Now, predicate is also a part of the sentence, but it tells you something about the subject. And predicate will always contain the verb. If you look at these examples given here, in the column given here, subject and predicate, the crew were waiting impatiently for orders from him. Now, in a ship, when you go for a voyage, when you travel by ship, there is what? There's a captain, the crew members. So the crew members have to follow the instructions given by the captain. So the crew, that means what? Subject is the crew, and then were waiting impatiently for orders from him. That is the predicate. The young crow had fallen from its nest. Young crow we are going to talk more about the crow. What has happened to the crow? The young crow had fallen from its nest. It had fallen from its nest. Now, when we look at these examples given here, what comes in our mind first? That whatever is the subject is usually occurs before the predicate, or the beginning of the sentence is with the subject and the rest is the predicate. But every time it is not so. Usually the subject occurs before the predicate. But we cannot ignore the fact that however the subject occurs after the predicate or in the middle of the predicate. That means what? It will be better understood by the example given here. Now in this example, what is written? Up into the blue sky soared the bird. Up into the blue sky soared the bird. Now in this sentence, usually this kind of the sentences are used as an inversion in what? In poem you see. The words are jumbled here. So in this, you find the subject is what? We are speaking about the bird. The bird soared up into the blue sky. Whenever such sentences come, first what we have to do? We have to first of all arrange the sentence, and then only we can pick out that where is the subject or what is the subject. In the second example, if you look at it, in my coat should peacocks flaunt. Again, this is a sentence, this is a line from the poem. So, in my coat should peacock flaunt. If we arrange the sentence properly, what will be the sentence? Peacocks should flaunt in my coat. So, here the subject is what? Peacocks. Taking into consideration the third example, the root, I will try to explain. The root, who will try to explain? I will try to explain. So here the subject again is I will try to explain the root is the predicate. So it is not ever necessary or mandatory that in a sentence it should always begin with the subject. The subject can come anywhere in the sentence, but if given in this form, which is usually followed in the poem, what we do? We have to arrange the sentence in a proper form and then we can identify the subject. Now children, time for the assignment. Now in this question number 1 assignment, what you are supposed to do is what? Underline the subject in the following sentences. What you have to underline? You have to underline the subject. So first one is already done for you. Her own friends had turned against her. Her own friends, we are talking about the friends. That means her own friends. So it is a subject and then rest is the predicate. But here we are expected to pick out only the subject and underline it. So question number 1, you have to underline the subject. Now question number 2, underline the predicate in the following sentence. Now given in the example, the first one, the lion has invited you to live at his court. Who has invited? We are talking about whom? Lion. So the lion is the animal who had invited you to live in his court. So lion is the subject and this is the predicate. So in this question number 2, you are supposed to underline the predicate, and first example is already done for you. That means the lion is the subject and the predicate is what? Has invited you to live at his court. Now example third. In this example, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to match the column in column A with the correct predicate in column B and rewrite the complete sentences given below. Now, in A column, you have given with the subject, and in the B column, it is the predicate. So, what are you expected to do? You have to match the column with the proper meaning, and then you have to write down. So, here we find what? A peacock was perched on a coconut tree. This first example is what? Done for you all, and rest you have to match it correctly, and then you have to write it down. For example, fifth one, the camel's hump. What it can be? Studying the school, may strike the earth, was an enchanted island. So you have to what? You have to find out what is the correct answer for this. Okay? Hope you all have understood the topic, subject and predicate. Thank you, children. God bless you all.